Heartbreak feels like dying while the world keeps moving. But what if this pain is not the end, but the beginning of the strongest version of you?
Right now, every moment is filled with a crushing sadness you're afraid will never end. There's a weight on your chest that feels unbearable, a physical ache that mirrors the one in your heart. The future you planned, the one that felt so certain, has shattered. You're replaying conversations, analyzing every moment, and searching for a different outcome that you know will never come. The world keeps moving, but you feel stuck, like you're drowning in grief, anger, and confusion. But what if I told you there's an emergency kit for this exact feeling? A set of practical, ancient tools designed not to erase the pain, but to help you manage it, to dress the wound so it can start to heal. This is a step-by-step emergency plan to help you regain control, find your footing, and understand that while this pain is incredibly real, it doesn't have to define you. Welcome, my fellow navigator, to Stoic Navigation. In this video, we're going to open that kit. We'll walk through a Stoic emergency plan, tool by tool, to help you navigate the storm. These aren't quick fixes or empty promises. This is a strategic blueprint for your rescue, forged in the wisdom of philosophers who knew that our deepest suffering often provides the greatest opportunity for strength. Tool 1. The triage tag, applying the dichotomy of control. The first tool in our emergency kit is the most fundamental. When medics arrive at an emergency, the first thing they do is triage. They sort everything into two categories: what they can fix and what is beyond their help. This is the Stoic dichotomy of control, and it's your first step. Right now, your mind is a chaotic mess of what-ifs and if-onlys. You're spending so much energy on things that are, and always were, completely outside of your control. You can't control your ex-partner's feelings or their decision. You can't go back in time and change what was said or done. You can't control if they miss you, what they're doing, or if they'll ever regret their choice. Trying to influence these things is like trying to command the ocean to be still. It's a battle that will only leave you exhausted. The ancient Stoic Epictetus said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. The only things you truly control are your thoughts, your judgments, and your actions from this moment forward. That's it. That is your area of operation." So grab a piece of paper. On one side, write down everything that's torturing you that you can't control. The breakup itself, their actions, the past. On the other side, write what you can control: how you respond to your thoughts, the choice to get out of bed, the decision to call a friend, the food you eat, whether or not you go for a walk. This isn't about pretending the first list doesn't hurt. It's about consciously shifting your energy to the second list. There's an old saying, if you find yourself in a hole, the first thing to do is stop digging. Obsessing over what you can't change is digging the hole of your suffering deeper. Acknowledging you can't control the past is how you put down the shovel. This is your first real act of taking back your power. Tool number 2, the antiseptic, practicing mindful acceptance. Once you've stopped digging, you have to clean the wound. If you just cover it up, it's going to get infected. And a lot of us try to do this with our pain. We distract ourselves, we numb ourselves, we pretend we're fine. But the Stoics teach a different way: mindful acceptance. This is a huge misunderstanding of Stoicism. It is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding them so they no longer rule you. You have to let yourself feel the sadness, the anger, the betrayal, the grief. These feelings are the antiseptic. They sting, but they are what cleans the wound.
The philosopher Seneca wrote that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This is because we add a second layer of judgment to our pain. We feel sad, and then we feel bad about ourselves for feeling sad. We feel angry, and then we feel guilty about our anger. Mindful acceptance is about observing your emotions without that second arrow of judgment. When a wave of sadness hits you, don't fight it. Don't run from it. Just acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "There is sadness. I am feeling grief right now." Notice where you feel it in your body. Let it be there. Remind yourself that emotions are like the weather. They are storms that pass. They are not you, and they are not permanent. A really powerful way to practice this is through journaling. Write down exactly what you're feeling in raw, unfiltered detail. Getting the pain out and onto the page creates distance. It lets you look at the emotion instead of being lost inside of it. You're not trying to solve it or fix it. You're simply allowing it to exist. And by doing that, you rob it of its power to control you from the shadows. You're feeling it fully, so that eventually you can let it go. Tool number 3, the anchor, grounding yourself in the present. When a ship is caught in a storm, the captain isn't focused on the storm itself, but on steering the ship through it, moment by moment. After a heartbreak, we're often lost in the storm of the past, or the terrifying fog of the future. The third tool in your kit is the anchor. Its job is to pull you out of the violent seas of the past and secure you in the relative calm of right now. The past is over, and the future isn't here yet. The only place you have real power is the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, constantly reminded himself to break overwhelming problems into smaller, manageable pieces. He wrote that, "Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole." Don't overwhelm yourself with the thought of the next 5 years without this person. Just focus on the next 5 minutes. When you feel your mind drifting, gently bring it back. Use your senses. What are 5 things you can see right now? Name them. What are 4 things you can physically feel? The chair beneath you, the air on your skin, your clothes. What are 3 things you can hear? 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This simple mindfulness exercise is an anchor. It yanks your attention out of your head and grounds it in physical reality. You can't control what happened last week, and you can't predict next year. But you can control your breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Do this a few times. That's all you have to manage right now. Stay in the present, and you'll find that even in the middle of the pain, there are moments of peace. If you're finding these tools helpful, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. We believe this ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever. And by subscribing, you're joining a community of people dedicated to building resilience and living a good life. And please, share in the comments which of these tools is hitting home for you. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. Tool number 4, the sutures, reflection for growth and purpose. Now that the wound is clean and you're anchored, it's time to start stitching it closed. But this isn't about just getting it over with. It's about stitching it in a way that makes you stronger than you were before. This is the Stoic art of turning obstacles into opportunities. This heartbreak is an obstacle, yes, but it can also be the catalyst for your greatest growth. Seneca believed that adversity was a training ground. He saw challenges not as misfortunes, but as chances to practice courage, patience, and wisdom. This experience, as painful as it is your opportunity. It's a chance to reflect on what you really learned from this relationship. Ask yourself, not with judgment, but with genuine curiosity, what did this teach me about myself? What were my strengths? Where were my weaknesses? What do I value most in a partner and in my own life? This isn't about blaming anyone. It's about extracting the wisdom from the experience. Every hardship is a chance to build character. This pain is your chance to practice resilience. The loneliness is your chance to practice self-reliance. The uncertainty is your chance to practice faith in your own ability to handle whatever comes next. Marcus Aurelius called this turning the impediment to action into an advance on action. The obstacle becomes the way forward. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the concentration camps, wrote that to live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. He famously said that anyone who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Your task now is to find your new why. This pain can be transformed into purpose. Maybe your purpose is to become a more compassionate person.
Maybe it's to chase a passion you let slide. Maybe it's simply to become someone who is whole and happy on their own. Use this pain as fuel. Let it forge you into someone stronger and wiser. Tool number 5, the splint. Supporting yourself with rational response. A broken bone needs a splint to hold it steady so it can heal correctly. Your emotional state needs that same kind of support. This tool is the splint of rational response, which stops you from making impulsive decisions that will only injure you further. When we're overwhelmed by emotion, our rational mind just goes offline. We're tempted to call our ex, to beg, to lash out, to endlessly scroll their social media, or to immediately jump into another relationship to numb the pain. The Stoics would call all of these digging the hole deeper. They are reactions, not responses. A response requires a pause. When you feel that overwhelming urge to do something you know you'll probably regret, just stop, pause, breathe. Create a little space between the feeling and your action. In that space, that's where your power is. In that pause, you can question the emotion, not to dismiss it, but to ask if its advice is any good. You can borrow a technique from cognitive behavioral therapy and ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is acting on this impulse going to get me closer to the kind of person I want to be and the healing I want to achieve? Most of the time, the answer is no. The urge to check their Instagram isn't helpful. It's a form of self-harm. The urge to send an angry text isn't helpful. It will just create more chaos. A rational response is choosing what's best for your long-term healing, even when it's not what your emotions are screaming for right now. It's choosing self-respect over temporary relief. It's creating a clean, undisturbed environment for your wound to heal. And that is an act of self-love and profound courage. And that's your kit, your Stoic emergency kit for a broken heart. First, the triage tag, to focus only on what you can actually control. Second, the antiseptic of mindful acceptance, to feel your emotions without judgment so they can be cleansed. Third, the anchor in the present moment, to pull yourself out of the storm of the past and future. Fourth, the sutures of reflection, to turn this obstacle into an opportunity for real growth. And finally, the splint of rational response, to pause and choose what will truly help you heal. Healing is not a straight line. There will be days you feel like you're right back at the beginning. That's okay. The goal isn't to never feel pain again. The goal is to know that when you do, you have the tools to handle it. You have this kit. The Stoics believed we're not broken by what happens to us, but by our judgment about what happens. You've been through something terrible, but you are not broken. You are being forged. You have a fortress of resilience inside of you, a capacity for wisdom, and the power to choose how you respond.
As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, get active in your own rescue, if you care for yourself at all, and do it while you can. Your rescue begins now. Pick up your tools and begin the work.